I teach 4 undergraduate courses reasonably regularly. One of them is economic geography, which is, when I teach it, basically an introduction to the political economy of everyday life. So that covers material from environmental regulation all the way through to how the central bank sets interest rates and the ways in which that affects different regions in Canada differently. Or not just Canada, clearly, but the international impacts of macroeconomic policy. So we basically look at the ways in which political economic geographies unfold over space and over time. The world is determined as we live it by political economic relationships of various scales and environmental constraints. We have to confront the often contradictory relationship between the two. Everything I teach comes from that message. We have to rethink how we govern macroeconomically, and that means rethinking everything from the structure of our monetary policy institutions right down to the scale at which the response to climate change needs to be thought. Local, regional, national, international. And we need to examine both the opportunities and the perils of the choices that we have to make. Right now in BC, for example, we have this carbon neutrality policy where municipalities are trying to work towards something called carbon neutrality, which in itself is a pretty complicated notion. But they're trying to do so in the midst of an economic policy that, on the larger scale, is basically an imperative to grow, to produce, to consume, this kind of stuff. So insofar as carbon is basically like a fairly unavoidable product of a lot of our economic activity, we're being told to go neutral at the same time as we're being told to consume like a full-time shopper. Those two things don't go together very well.